Oh my gosh. Coffee tastes so good in the morning. Oh man. Just want to say good morning to you guys. I'm just here before I go to work, cutting a little intro to the video. This last week, Looney Landers came out on Steam and the VCS, and I thought I wanted to download it. I know it's eventually going to come to the Switch, but I wanted to download it and play it because I'm just that impatient of a person where I have to look at these things. So I downloaded it, and as I was downloading it, I thought, you know, I really don't give this VCS too much loving. I want to see what games are available out there, so I downloaded 4 more games. So in today's video, I'm going to look at 5 video games on the VCS and tell you if it's worth your time and worth your money. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it helps the channel grow a little bit more. And we're going to start off with Looney Landers coming in at $7.99 at $8 game. I was so excited to hear that this was coming out. It kind of caught me off guard. I saw it on a couple other YouTube channels. And when I heard that the release date was, really quick, I woke up that morning, started my coffee, ran straight down to the Atari VCS, and tried to start my download. It was not in the store that early in the morning. I get up at an ungodly time every day at 2:45 a.m., and it just wasn't there yet. So I had to wait 11 hours till I got out of work to download this game. But when I got home, it was there, and boy, did I have fun playing it. And there's not too much to this game. It is a 1 to 2 player game, and you can play against a CPU if you don't have anybody to play with, and that's what I'm doing here right now. Looney Landers is a 3rd title in the retro-inspired class of 1983 arcade trilogy. Your mission is to skydive into Chucky Charlie's chaotic castle and land safely to win. Chucky Charlie's? Isn't that kind of redundant? Pixel just does these games right. I'm telling you, I love their style. It's a 1983 pretty much arcade machine, even with the bezel art on the left and the right, and it explains what your points are and what your combo points are, and it's either dive or glide to the platforms, and a lot of times you're just going to dive right to the platforms because you will hit an obstacle on the way down, and you got to avoid these spikes on the side or that dang foot will come down and smash you also. There's not much I can add to say about this game. It's what you see is what you get. It is simple, it's fun. If you were at an arcade machine and you were quarter dropping, you would have a blast playing this. And at your home for $7.99, the replayability of this game is just insane. And Nintendo Switch 2, if that comes out with online capabilities where you can chat with your friends, this would be fun just to pick up and play, a quick half hour, competition or an hour. And wouldn't it be a blast if it was 2 to 8 players and you guys were just pretty much pinballing yourself all around this map trying to get to these platforms? I would play this for hours. Day 1, I saw an error in the Pro controller for the Atari VCS where I would actually accidentally mash that left thumbstick and it would pause the game, and I'm telling you, it would tick me off. But that's been fixed by an update like 2 days later, so they're investing in this game. They're making sure it's fun. And Pixel, whatever you're paying that guy to make all this music, you're probably not paying enough. This stuff is classic, music for games. Love it, love it, love it. Looney Landers for the Atari VCS is a must-own game. Second game I'm going to look at today is Superstar Shooter 16, and it comes in at $5.99. And yep, they put a commercial at the beginning of this game, and at least you could skip through it. So there is a seizure warning here, and rightfully so, because this is a tube shooter where you're traveling down a tube shooting items as they come at you, and it is bright, colorful, and I can see where this would cause some seizures. And there's nothing really complex about this game. It is a tube shooter. You travel down, you pick up power-ups, you pick up more time as you're going down, and you shoot all the obstacles in your way and try to get the highest score possible. This is a fun game, and man, this would be fun in VR. This would just be outstanding in VR. And on the VCS, it really does work. It is visually stimulating, and I can have some fun playing this, you know, from time to time. It's something that I could pick up and just, you know, kill some time playing. And not only visually is this stimulating, but the music and the sound effects are all great in this game, and I have just a fun time picking this up. And for $6, where are you really going to go wrong? This is kind of showing off what the Atari VCS can actually do with a game like this. And this is where it excels at, is the games that I can pick up and play and walk away from it anytime and don't feel that I have to invest hours and hours and hours. And that's why I'm the 60-minute gamer, because I work a crap ton 6 days a week, and it's nice to pick up a game that I don't have to invest a lot of time in, and I can just play, have a good time, and walk away. $6 purchase on the VCS store is just a great deal for a game like this, and it's one that you're not going to regret. And the third game I'm going to look at is Tiny Hands Adventure, and it comes in at $8.99, so a $9 game here. And I wanted to set out and get some games that were just going to be more modern for the VCS and not retro throwback, not looking back to the 26-5200 or the 7800 type of style games, but something that was just going to have a modern spin. And I really didn't get that feeling here. I got the feeling that I was going back into the 90s and the PS1 days, when you got some really weird controlling games that just didn't handle right. And that's what I felt like here. I didn't feel like this was a modern game. I felt the controls were just so irritating that I couldn't get through very far of this game. It really ticked me off. Now, even the text messaging as it comes up and it explains things to you, I'm fast forwarding through them. I'm hitting that A button to skip through them, so it just types out really quick. But the way it was laying it out was just a pain in the butt. I didn't want to sit there and watch that stuff as it came through. So when you get a lot of text on that bubble, the first one will be in larger print, and as more text comes up, it gets smaller. And it was just awkward to read, and I don't know why it just irritated me so bad, but it did. And it might have to do with the next section right after you did that little introduction kind of tutorial thing, where I had to sit through over a minute and a half of reading this lady talk to me and that text doing what it did in the bubbles. And I haven't been this irritated with a video game texting or talking since the Sega Saturn's Pebbles Beach golf links, when Craig Stadler would pretty much come in there and insult you constantly. And I always joked with some friends that if I ever saw Craig Stadler in an airport, I would just walk up to him, punch him in the nose, and look him in the eye and say, Pebbles Beach Golf Link, Sega Saturn, and he would completely understand. Not that I would ever do that. The Walrus is a living legend, but I'm not the only one that has these feelings. I've seen other video game shows poke fun at this, man. I've seen them put the old Stadler up on the video screen and talk about how legendary this game was and how the insults would keep rolling out. And I can honestly say I have gone back and played that game on the Sega Saturn. And what I can honestly say about this game, I will not be revisiting this game. I just did not have any fun. I kept dropping off ledges. I kept on missing jumps. It was just horrific controls. I did not want to play this. And I felt like I was going back in time, and not to a very good time. There's some of these games that I like to revisit, and there are some that I just do not want to waste my time with. And this is one of those. Avoid this game. Do not purchase it. I am sorry that I did. And the fourth game I'm going to look at is Atari Mania for $24.99, so $25, and you can play this on the Atari VCS. I do have to say it is also on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, and the Nintendo Switch. And it recommends that you use a joystick with it, so you have to use the joystick on the VCS. It'd be interesting to see what it is on any of the other platforms and which controller that you're going to use. Basically, this is just NES Remix, but Atari style. And you're the caretaker of this Atari museum, and you're going to be helping out icons of the past by playing mini games and advancing. And you're going to walk around, you're going to find characters of the past and converse with them. And you're going to be picking up items from time to time to help them out, or they'll help you out. And some of the stuff is just collectibles that you can hang on the wall. And as you get further in the game, you're going to find out that it's going to feed you the nostalgia berries. You're going to get little posters and artwork like the Millipede game that Millie gave you here when he left the room. And it is just fun-filled. And there I get 3 games right there that I got to go battle in the Atari Remix type of arena. And I'll play little mini games like this game of Pong. And the controls aren't spot on, but once you get used to them, you understand that it is a timing thing. And you got to get it right on the money to advance to the next one. And I had 10 games to play right here in my first challenge to advance. And it was little things like Millipede right here where you would just have to kill the bug all at once. And if you didn't kill the whole bug, you had to get rid of it within a time frame, and you're just not going to do it unless you time it out perfectly. And they mix them up a little bit. You can see we have Pong and Millipede at the same time, and you got to keep all these balls alive till Millie is all gone. And once it's gone, you move on to the next challenge. And some of these games are just ridiculous, where you're just running through a hole in the wall. And that's it. So not a whole lot of challenge there. And I don't know if I'm going to get $25 worth out of this game, but I didn't walk away feeling like I wasted $25. It was kind of fun to see some of these things, and I actually played this quite a bit, getting footage for this, because I really enjoyed going back and visiting some of these old style type of games, and I just wanted to advance and get to the next level. So for $24.99, $25, you're not going to go wrong. If you like those old style games and you just want to play, a little bit here and there, you're going to have fun playing this game. Pick it up on either the PlayStation platforms that I mentioned and the Nintendo Switch if you don't have a VCS. If you have a VCS, this is another game that you should just purchase just to have it. And the last game I'm going to look at is called Thrustlander, and I bought this for $14.99, so $15 for a Atari VCS game. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cut to the chase here. I loved this game. This was Lunar Lander with a little shooting aspect in it, and you basically take your ship and you have limited fuel that you have to complete your missions on, and the physics were awesome. When you hit your thrusters, you had that feeling that you were floating around. It was a fun feeling. As you select your missions, you can choose whether you want easy, medium, hard, unfair. You get a time limit on them, or a retro feeling. This game gave you that feeling of an old style game that you would buy in the arcade or play at home back in the 80s, and it just had a new spin on it. The graphics were great in it, nothing too complex or anything that was going to be trying on your processor, but it was just fun. And I found myself returning to this game to play. Like, we were going out to eat somewhere, and I knew my wife was getting ready, so I went down to the office here where I had the VCS still hooked up, and I found myself playing through more levels of this, and it was something that I wanted to do and wanted to get back into. And as you advance further in the game, there's a little strategy into how you play this. Do you need to land? Do you need to get your fuel? Do you want to do it in a time frame? Right when you get done, you're done with that level and you get to advance to the next one. Do you have enough fuel to do that and just to get through and get a higher rating? Find out if you stop and get fuel and you really didn't need to, you're going to get 1 star or 2 stars instead of the 3-star rating. So you want to go back and play it and try to get 3 stars. And when playing through the retro mode, you can see they kind of making it look like an old style TV, and the limitations of how things work are the limitations of the Atari 2600. And this is just fun. It's fun to go back and relive it and relive the Atari 2600 days and still play some different games. A game like this back then would have just had me playing for hours and hours and hours. It's neat to see these developers do reimagined games or actually make new games for those old Atari consoles. And these are the type of games that I want to play on the Atari VCS. You know, the reimagined ones with the great graphics, or the old style games played, you know, with the limitations of the Atari 2600 or the 5200 or even the 7800. It's just neat to see where a programmer's mind has gone, you know, in the year 2025. And for $15, I really feel that I got great value for the game that I bought here. I am going to go back and play this more and more. In fact, I went back to get that retro footage and I didn't even have it, and I knew I played it. I had hours and hours of footage of just the newer game here that I'm showing on the screen now, but I forgot to capture the retro game, and I had no problem going back and playing it. So Thrustlander, that is a must buy. I would not have any problem recommending this game. If you guys have a VCS, go out, buy it today, and see how many levels you can get through. Hey, we'll try filming this again with the freaking mic on. Oh, I hate filming these things and forgetting to do something like that. It's so simple. Hey, I had a blast, though, doing this, and I had a blast capturing this gameplay. What fun games. Out of the 5 games, I only had one that was a stinker, and I really didn't like that game. That's just my opinion. You could love that game. So give them all a try if you want. I give you a look at them, and I'm definitely going to go back to Thrustlander and play that a crap ton. I just love that game, and getting all those stars is just an accomplishment to me. So I hope you guys are liking and subscribing, especially if you got this far in the video. Hit that like button there. Give me some interaction. Drop me a comment down below. Let's talk about some of these games. Maybe you got different opinions than what I had. Let everybody know what you liked. Are you playing any of these 5 games? Have you downloaded them? Do you have the same opinions that I have on Looney Landers? Would you like to see that being more than a 2-player game and have online when that Switch 2 comes out? I don't know. Let me know down below. And you guys just be happy out there, play some games, and have fun. Game on.